Hey, good evening, Canoe Creek. Sending this video out to you, and I know that I told you this morning during the worship time that this video would be live, but we've got some important details we want to share, and for certain circumstances we decided that it'd be best to pre-record it, set it up for YouTube and Facebook at 7 o'clock tonight, which is right now. So thankful that you're tuning in, excited to share this news with you about our reopening and some of the details that go with that are important. But before we even get there, let me make a really important distinction and recognition. You know, this is a 3-day weekend, and sometimes we treat it just as a 3-day weekend, and we forget the importance of it. It's so much more than just an extra day off from work. It's Memorial Day. It's a weekend in which we recognize that for many years now, many people, men and women, have made significant sacrifices, whether afar or right here within our own borders, to ensure that we have a significant kind of freedom that is unique and that is amazing and important. And so tomorrow morning when we get up and we get into our cars, or we just stay at our homes to do whatever we want or to go wherever we want, it's really important that we remember why we were able to do that. And just want to make sure that we remember to reflect on, honor, and just give thanks this Memorial Day weekend for the many men and women who have sacrificed their lives for the freedom here in our country. As we think about that and we reflect on going back to church, I think our own governor here in the state said it best when he said during a press conference that he did not have the constitutional right to tell churches they can't meet. And he was absolutely right. I love the way that he led with that type of mentality, and he appealed to our freedom to make choices to care for those who are around us. And when we went into this time of pause with our services on Sundays, that's exactly what motivated our leadership. We did not stop meeting because the government said we couldn't. We stopped meeting because we believed it to be in the best interest for a season of time for those here within our own church community and our community abroad. Not knowing really what was going to happen or how this virus would deal with people, and to be honest with you, they're still trying to figure that out. But the main goal was to not overwhelm our healthcare system, and we were excited to see, as Governor DeSantis shared the information, that that's exactly what took place. They were able to keep our healthcare system in a great place, and as we move forward, we know that we will see this virus continue to spread among people. Not getting together wasn't to end it and all. It was to try and help in certain areas, and that's what we've done. And so we're looking forward to coming back. We're looking forward to being able to be together. The details that we have that we want to share with you, how we're going to come back, some of the things that we're going to do, will give you the opportunity to make a decision for yourself. Is it the right time for me to come back this Sunday? Should I wait another week? Should I wait 2 weeks? We realize that everybody needs to make that decision. And here's what's most important above all things. If I had 5 different people in this video with me right now, we'd have 5 different opinions on what we should do or what we shouldn't do. We've experienced a lot of that. And you know what? This world has a lot of division in it as it is already. And this virus has been very exceptional at dividing us physically and especially personally. As I've seen people share their opinions with very strong conviction, we just need to be careful to be reminded that we are united and one in Christ, and we have the opportunity and the freedom through His love and through His sacrifice to make the decision every day to let somebody else have their own opinion, to love somebody else in the way that Christ would love us. And that is what's been motivating every decision that we've made since day one. So with that in mind, let me just share some of the important details for our coming back this Sunday, May the 31st. First thing that is different, you're going to notice right away, is we're going to have 3 services. Now, we had 2 before, and we're coming back to 3. 8:30, 10 o'clock, 11:30. This is great times, I think. I'm excited about that. And I think it provides, obviously, more space for everybody in a variety of 3 services. We also anticipate we're going to have some visitors. We've seen new people getting to know us through our online services, and so we're preparing for that as well. And it provides more options. But please just be flexible, be patient. Here's the thing that we know to be true. Okay, our 10 o'clock service is going to be the most desirable service based on the survey that we sent out, plus just based on logic. Some of you are going to be excited about the 8:30 service. You're up already anyway, and you're looking forward to getting there 30 minutes earlier. Great. And for those of you who are 2 or 3 songs late habitually, hey, just make it 11:30, all right? That way you're on time, right? So what I'm asking you is if you think, hey, I want to go to that 10, but you know you can make the 8:30, or you don't have a problem with making the 11:30, please make the 8:30 or 11:30, because that 10 o'clock is going to be our fullest service. And here's the problem that we're running into. If more people show up, then we're comfortable with seating in our worship center because we're trying to practice social distancing. It's going to be tough on us as a staff and leadership to turn people away. We are trying to come up with some overflow options, and that is sending the video signal into other rooms. We're working, feverishly on that. But those types of things typically have technical difficulties, and we're going to do our best. Just so work with us, be patient, be flexible as much as you can be. Here's the other thing that's an important announcement. Starting back May 31st, there will be no student ministries or children's ministries. So everybody's going to be in the worship center together. So family of 6, we're making sure that we have at least no less than 6 groups of 6 chairs so that you guys can all sit together in the worship center. Listen, we realize this is going to require us to exercise extra patience. Your child may be a little bit fussy or something like that. Hey, I've always dealt with that from the pulpit. Don't have a problem with it. And then you've always been wise and smart. If your child gets a little bit too distracting for others, you jump up and walk out into the foyer, which, by the way, our plan is to have the video from the main room on the TVs in the foyer as well to help out in that regard. But it's just going to require a little bit extra flexibility and patience on our whole part. But we're looking forward to that. So it's going to be family style worship, which we're used to because we do that every 5th Sunday anyhow. So that's something to look forward to. And I know you already have 3 questions, at least. Don't worry. Hang in there. I'm going to answer them as we go through this. We are changing the seating, as you just heard me say. We're going to minimize rows, and we're going to make seating more flexible to where we can practice social distancing, which is something that we are going to be practicing. Certain things that we're going to take out, the welcome time, things of that nature. We are asking people just come in, find your seat. You're going to see signs that will guide and direct you for that, and have a seat. Listen, you may be perfectly comfortable with giving somebody a hug, shaking somebody's hand. And I appreciate your opinion on that. You and I may share that opinion together. But I want you to practice your highest level of emotional intelligence and just assume that somebody else is not comfortable with that. So therefore, don't shake their hands or don't just go up to hug somebody. If you're out under the portico or out in the parking lot and you can tell they just have that look in their eye, come hug me, and you ask them and they say yes, then sure, go for it. I mean, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. That's the whole point. We're trying to come back with certain parameters that give you the freedom to make the choices that you want to make, but not to impress yourself upon somebody else while they're worshiping here as well. So with that in mind, we will be practicing that social distancing and so on and so forth. Now, the big question is do I have to wear a mask? And the answer is no. If you're not comfortable with wearing a mask, don't wear one. If you're more comfortable with wearing a mask, by all means, wear a mask. If you think, I don't want to be somewhere where I know there's going to be a bunch of people not wearing a mask, then it might not be the right time for you to come back to the live services. We will still be streaming on Facebook and YouTube, at least at the 10 o'clock hour. And we're going to see about doing that more often as well. But that way, if you're not comfortable, or as some of my friends here at Canoe Creek, I know you're going through certain types of treatments. Your immune system is really taking a kick because of that, and you just can't be here. Our prayers are with you, and we'll continue to have it live streamed so that you can stay connected and involved with what's going on. Everybody has to make the decision that's right for them. And we're looking forward to providing the safest environment we can as people do come back and be able to still keep that social distance. So during our service, we normally have communion. We're going to be doing that a little bit differently. When you walk into the building, you're going to clearly see tables with those little single sealed communion packets on it. Grab one for you. and just take it with you to your seat. During that communion time at the service, we'll all open them together. We're all going to practice communion in a community style during our services. Offering, there'll be boxes by the doors and several offering attendants by the doors holding the bag so you can drop them, your offering, as you go out of the service on Sunday morning. Entry and exit flow, those are going to change. So you're going to enter on the west side doors. So as you come in, all the doors are on the north of the building, right? And the west side doors are the side on the children's ministry side. Those are going to be for entry only, and then all the doors to the west side in the foyer will be for entry only, so you can come in and filter throughout the room. And then when you leave, you'll exit the east side doors. And this will create a little bit of a flow pattern where people coming from one service, leaving another service, are able to make their way in and out without, having too much cross pattern and too much contact. Now, for the really difficult one, which is probably going to change at least 50% of you from wanting to come, there will be no coffee and sip and dip donuts on Sunday morning. I'm sorry to say. So I know that that's painful, and some of you just said, I'm out. I'm done. All right, I'll watch from home with my coffee and my sip and dip donuts. I understand. I feel the same way. So obviously, there's obvious reasons why we're not doing that, but look forward to bringing that back as well in the future. Which brings me to one thing that I think will answer a lot of the questions. Some people are saying, well, what about this? What about this? What about that? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? Let me be honest with you. We don't know. Here's what I know. This Sunday, May 31st coming up, we will be worshiping again in our facility at 8:30, at 10 o'clock, and 11:30. And by the way, we have scheduled we didn't know May 31st is going to be that first Sunday back, but we have a blessing because we have some amazing people scheduled that you're not going to want to miss, because it's going to be, as we come back, we welcome back some great friends of our past, and looking forward to that. That's what we know for this Sunday. And here's what our leadership is committed to doing. We're going to be communicating together every week. And we're going to be assessing our own congregation, our own community, and everything that's going on within our state, and making a decision week by week. When we're going to bring this back, when we're going to bring that back. And so we're going to be shooting out more simple, smaller videos every week to say, hey, this is what's happening this week. Please realize, too, that part of it is a resource issue. So if we just try to come back with all things full force the very first Sunday, first of all, I just don't think that that's wise. Neither does our leadership. That's why we're not doing it. But secondly, through our survey and just logical, reasoning, there's a handful of volunteers that are core to what we do each and every Sunday morning that have already said, I'm not exactly comfortable with coming back full force and doing what I normally do on any Sunday morning. So therefore, if we just came back and tried to do everything that we do on a Sunday morning as normal, it's going to be problematic for us. Not to mention, we're adding a third service, which of course means what? We need more people to serve the vision. So let me just finish by saying this. We realize during this time, our gatherings on Sunday morning are not just, functional in a sense of perfunctory, just go through the motions. Do the things, show up like I'm supposed to show up, check the list. It is absolutely essential to our growth as believers in Christ. The fellowship of the church that we have, gathering together on the first day of the week, as the example is set forth by the church in God's Word and by God's direction and Word as well. We realize the opportunity to gather together to help each other grow up in our faith as each part does its work serving the body. So while we're doing what we're doing in our main praise session in the worship center, our children or our students are being engaged in ways that they can best understand to grow in their faith. Our coffee and donuts serve more than just to make us fat or make us happy with the caffeine in the morning. They are there to help us have opportunity for fellowship, to be able to sit in the foyer, just talk. Maybe that you have something going on in your life. Our prayer and decision partners are there because there's times when we have significant issues and we need somebody to know. We need somebody to pray with us. Or we need to take a next step of faith and we're just not sure how to do it. We need guidance from somebody. From our worship team, to our welcome team, to our children's ministry teams, to our student ministry teams, to our cleaning team that prepares this building to make it perfect for us when we come in. All of these things matter significantly. And so what I'm asking you to do is consider, how are you serving that vision? How are you a part of making what happens on a Sunday morning so that you or somebody else is always comfortable, always excited to invite their friend in who are taking that first step of faith? Or for somebody who just wanders in from the community saying, you know what, I need to know what this whole spiritual thing is about because my life's in shambles and I want to know God better. We all have an opportunity to really play a profound part in serving the body so that we're more equipped each and every Sunday as we walk out of here for the next 6 days to really share Christ with our world. So I'm specifically asking you, inviting you to serve this mission. That if you're not doing something on a Sunday morning and you're ready to start doing that, it may be that you're not ready this Sunday, you're not ready next Sunday, but you say, hey Ross, starting in June or starting 1st of July when I feel more comfortable with going back and serving, I'm ready to serve the vision that Canoe Creek has so that I can help this church grow up into Christ and go out and share Christ with their world. Canoe Creek, we are super excited that we have this opportunity to get back together again. You know what, just like the Bible allows for sabbatical rhythms and there's times where there's a rest period of certain things, you know, if we've been willing to see past some of the frustrations, we can see that we have been given a great opportunity to rest from some of the things, to be reminded of how essential they are in our life. Gathering together every Sunday morning as a church is something that's essential for those who are believers in Jesus Christ. Guess what? This Sunday, May 31st, we get the opportunity to do that again. I really look forward to seeing you. Have a great week. We'll see you, not just like through a camera. I will see you on Sunday morning, May 31st at 8:30, at 10 o'clock, and 11:30. Have a great week.